go through it, and we'll try to do it step by step and together. So that's the fun in that, basically. Yes, I'm just making sure that we're going live on all the different stages, all the different platforms, and everything is smooth and running. Cool. All right, so let's do that. I'm very excited for this. Yeah, let's start with our course, basically. We stopped in here with the embers texture, so I'm really excited to keep that going from here and see what we can do. All right, let's put this on full screen. Although I've told the plugin to put it in window and not in complete full screen, it's not responding to it. All right, I'm gonna ask it to ask. We're gonna refresh the page. And yeah, we'll go back here and we will start again and see if it's gonna actually...
So let's look at our texture for our embers.
Good.
Now, when it comes to textures, the reason why I'm showing you the complete texture is because it's easier to explain my thought process rather than just starting to build nodes and then go from there. Now, on things like Houdini, where we're going to create meshes and do a little bit more advanced stuff, I will be going from start to finish. But for textures, I found that this is the easiest way to showcase this. You'll have this file so you can go back and look through it, dissect it, create your own.
Okay, first we need this on HD so we can see the different nodes that we are working with here and digest it, basically. And then eventually we'll be able to replicate the same thing, hopefully in Material Maker. It's going to be a hell of a job. It's going to be a lot to do, but we'll get there. Okay, so first we start with a shape, then we start deforming it. Okay, let's try that. Let's do a space, shape, or... no, I didn't type that correctly. All right, simple shape. Okay, so what do we have in here? We have a polygon, we have a star, we have a curved star, we have a raise. Okay, where do we get... Okay, so polygon probably 4 or 2. Yeah, okay, so we're getting there. This is scaling it. In this axis, this is giving it a gradient. That's interesting. Okay, let's see what we can do. I just realized that I'm working with the wrong thing here. I need to change it. Give me a second here. Yeah, these things are difficult to keep a track off. Oh man, this app sucks. Okay, we're working here, people. So yeah, follow me, follow along. Okay, polygon, and that needs some type of a transform. So let's try our transform node. Transform, yeah, it actually exists. That's perfect. Let's take the transform from here and let's see what we can do. We can actually transform stuff. That is pretty neat. We can scale this like that. We could scale it down and up, but I don't see it giving me the... Oh, wait. Maybe that is because it is repeating all the time, right? So how was that setting where I go to view and I tell it to clamp? And now we get the actual texture made in like one thingy. So I think the mistake here is that we put 2. So that is not even like 4-dimensional, right? So 4, it would be would be like an actual polygon, and everything below. So 3 will be a triangle, yeah, and 2 would be like something that doesn't even exist. That was why we were getting that issue there. So we're gonna go back here and put 4, and now we have our lovely square here to play with, and we could scale it down, up, and stuff like that. Now the next thing to know is, how the heck am I going to transform this? A little bit similar to what we have in here with the quad transform this thing in Substance Designer. I really want to know how to do this with Material Maker. So yeah, let's try that. We have a scalar. We're not going to play with that. We got to press enter, mode. We can repeat, extend, or mirror. Rotate. I mean, we could rotate it, but that is not really what I want. Okay, so I already see that I can't skew things here, sadly. And I could also not use my numpad here for some reason. Well, the app is definitely different to what we are used to. So yeah, I can only do things like this here. I can't do things like he has here where he's skewing it, right? So let's try to, if there's a skew modifier here. Okay, nothing. All right, so what I will do, and that's just part of learning, we'll go to the document. We will get to the quad. What is it? Oh, man, I wish this video was HD, honestly. Let's see.
Well, but I want to share more the thought and the theory behind what I'm doing.
Quad.
So we have ash and embers.
Let's wait until he zooms in.
And if you Google embers and ash textures, you can see different shapes. And so my first shape...
Quad transform. That is it. Okay, so let's see if we have something similar, right? Like if I write quad, filter mask, okay, quad, nothing. All right, so what happens if I have transform as a general search here? Simple SDF transform translate, simple SDF transform rotate, scale. I don't think this is... Okay, so what do we have here? Transform translate. We can, but I think those are more into 3D. Rotate, scalar, shear. Maybe this one? We're just gonna look at it. Gotta try different things. Okay, so this is cutting it in half. Or oh, look at that. We're skewing it slowly. Okay, that is not so bad. Okay, at least we're getting somewhere. Let's try different nodes as well. We're gonna go with transform. And yeah, where rotate is easy, mirror, I get that part. Warp, that's probably the one we want to play with. Let's try it. Let's hook that thing here and see what happens. All right, so if I have a slope here and I'm playing with this, okay, I can see that it has an actual, like a height map here. So if I put a noise, let's see what happened. Composite, cloud noise, let's see. How does that look? It looks like this. If I put this here, now we're warping and we're getting like some crazy results. My cats are playing like MFers. Yeah, so we're getting those crazy results here. Now let's see what else can we do. So basically we need to make it into this shape that is kind of skewed and kind of different, and then he puts the warp right after that. So we're kind of on the right track here. I just want the actual transform of this quadrat to work now. There might be a way. I'm just gonna keep looking, right? That's part of learning. Transform. So we have shear. I think we tried that up there. Yeah, we did. We have warp. Excuse me. We have translate. That's probably gonna just put it somewhere. We have scale. It's gonna scale it up. We have mirror. It's just gonna mirror it. And then we have kaleidoscope. It looks like something that we are not gonna mess with. Then we have circle map. I bet it puts it into a radial type of thing. Let's put it and let's see what we get. Let's put it to the test. Here we go. Yes, as I thought, if I put it less, it will go down like that. If I put it more, it will go up like this. This is good for textures that are, for example, like a slash effect that you will put on like a cylinder or something. But that's not what we're going to do here. But it's good to know that it actually exists. Okay, what is the next? We're going to go to transform, warp, circle map. We have rotate, scale, mirror, kaleidoscope, tile. Oh, cool, tile exists. That's awesome, actually, because this saves you a lot of time with like tiling textures and stuff like that. All right, that's awesome. Transform splatter. Okay, I wonder what that does. I'm just gonna put it and test it. Just trying stuff around, right? So right now it's a whole square. Okay. Inputs. What do we have? Okay, so the input, we need some type of input, right? So let's see. We're getting somewhere. Ooh, that's interesting. Okay, that's interesting, definitely. Scale X, scale Y. Okay, but then it's literally not what we were looking for. It's just interesting to see what it is doing. Okay, we don't need any splatter. Let's go with transform again. transform until we get the transform that we wanted, that it's existing in the Substance Designer, but we're using Material Maker right now, so we have to find the alternative for all of this. Warp dilation. Okay, that's kind of interesting. Tile advanced. We have a lot of tiling stuff. Multi-warp. Okay, so I guess you can warp with multi textures or something. Transform tile 2x2 variations. I wonder what that is. I think it has something to do with tiling. Yep, tile. It's right there. Tile again. Morphology. Okay, well, that's interesting. Slope. All right, let's try. Swirl. Maybe. Distort could be. Maybe. Okay, we will try all of those. So we will just put one by one now. Let's try all of those, like swirl, the very last results here in the search, just to see what the heck is gonna happen, right? So yeah, let's try it. So we have distort, we have spherize. That's interesting. Okay, now we're gonna hook the normal quad here into the spherize. Okay, that is interesting. The radius is of the sphere here. I could see changing. The amount is... Okay, the amount of the sphere. Center X. Ooh, look at that. That's kind of cool. All right. Center Y. Okay, so it's kind of like making it into a sphere or some sort. Yeah, spherizing it. Let's go to the next one, slope. What does the slope do? Okay, slope is blurring the heck out of it. Let's put that down a little bit. Now you might get different results with different textures, right? But that is not visible for us because maybe some things are just not working well with the quad, which looks like this originally. Let's put it to distort and see what we can do. We get like control. Oh, look at that. That's exactly what we wanted, right? That is basically what we wanted. So if I go back to the course, we see that he literally did this kind of distortion, right? Like he took the quad and made it into a shape that was like this, if I may. Like it was like this. He made it into like this thing here, into something like that, right? If I just look at it, no, it's a bit skewed up there, right? So we found the node, I would say. Like we found a way to do it. Okay, so filter, let's do, instead of clamping, let's do a repeat. And now we see that the black is entirely gone. Could be a problem, but what we can do, and I'm just guessing now from like the, mathematically speaking, like if black was 0, if white was 1, what happens if I add a value, right, where it's just this distortion plus 0, then we will get the black behind everything. So that problem is kind of fixed, right? So that's kind of cool. We'll go to the next step, which will probably most likely be the let's see. Oh, we're getting a lot of viewers on TikTok. Hey everybody, welcome. Nice to have you here. Okay, so we have the distortion and we added the math, and now we have the black background. I just wanted to test the swirl because it's an interesting concept, so let's try that. Ooh, look at that. I love that texture, honestly. Ooh, look at this thing, man. Like, this could be a pattern, right? Like, if you imagine a pattern like that, this looks awesome, dude. Okay, let's see what we can do. Center, that's probably gonna take it around, right? Ooh, look at that thing, man. This is super cool. And can I control the amount? Yeah, definitely. We can control the amount. But not the actual amount of the effect, just the... Oh, here we go. We can do things like this. Fun stuff like that. Let's put it back to 0. Actually. Whoop, whoop. All right, let's put this back to 0, damn it. Yes, here we go. Now it's distorted like that. Yeah, and we can do cool things like this as well. All right, everybody who's chatting, let me know who you are. Everybody's in the chat. Everything. Let's chat. Let's have something. Let's talk together. This is not a just me talking all the time. All right, back to it. Yeah, so this is our swirling effect, and we will maybe use that. I am not entirely sure. We will see what we will do with this. So yeah, we have our clouds, we have our warp, and what we'll do is probably do that warp right here after the result here. And I will not use a cloud for now. I will actually warp it with something else. So I will delete that cloud or that connection. How to do that in Material Maker? Does anybody know? Control maybe? Maybe we click Control and click. Maybe we click Alt and click. Maybe we click Shift and click. Maybe we double click here. Yeah, you double click on the input or the output basically. And that's how you do it. So that is our clouds. This is our warp. Let's add some noise. All right, so noise. We have noise clouds. We have Voronoi noise. We have so many noise, but let's go back to the course. Try to learn from the course. Okay, what are we doing here, right? So we have a Perlin noise that is barely like have any details. It has a lot of blur and it's warped. And then we see a next thing that was like also another warp that is being controlled through a circle or cells, basically a cells texture. Then we have a blur, high quality grayscale. We're gonna see what that means. I bet it's just a blur of some sort on the cell noise, and then it's hooked into the warp, right? So let's try that. We're gonna go back here. We have our cloud noise. We don't know. We don't need that. We determined we don't need that. But I will search for noise. I press space here and search for a noise, and I find noise composite. All right, so we have, oh, this is the same. Oh, I just noticed. Okay, clouds 2 will look like that. Clouds 3 will look like that. We determined we don't want any cloud. Let's keep looking for noise textures. We have just a normal noise. This will look like that. Don't fear anything. We could still play with this a little bit. So if it was like a 1024 by 1024, which is almost like HD quality of texture, this is the noise you're gonna get, which is similar to how like the noise of an old TV looks like, right? It looks a little bit like this. And so yeah, this is the noise textures that you basically get from the stuff. So what we will do is keep looking, or what we can also do is blur that. So we can find the blur, filter blur, right? And we could put that down a little down like here, and then we kind of get a different noise if we put this down to 512 or to 12.8, and we go back to the Gaussian blur. We're kind of, not entirely though, but we're kind of getting there. Now see if I put this back to 6 to 32, for example, go back to the blur, and I increase the blur here, we are definitely getting similar results like we're getting here, right? So we see that actually it is kind of similar in a way, right? So yeah, that is that. We will still try to find that noise like beyond. So if we have like noise composite, directional noise, how does that look like? What is that actually doing? It's just a directional noise. It looks like in one direction. Let's keep looking for different nodes. We have noise again. We have anisotropic and noise color. Oh, we have a noise color. That's interesting. Ooh, this looks creepy. But we have that. That's cool. All right, what else do we have? Noise white. How does that look like? All right, it looks like this. This is basically the same like the other noise, right? Oh, but we're getting different values. You see that? That's probably gonna work better. Why? Because we're getting gray areas as well. Here, it's literally like pixel art, right? It doesn't have any anti-aliasing or anything. It's just the pure noise. Now, the Gaussian blur definitely adds to it, right? So let's check if we put this in here instead. Or you know what? We'll do it like this. We'll do Gaussian blur again. Ooh, is this a fast blur? Okay, we're gonna try Gaussian. Is this right? Gaussian. So G-A-U. Like this. Yeah, that's the one. Okay, so let's hook this up and compare both of them. So we have directional, both. Everything is the same. This looks like this. This looks like this. That's funny because, cool, I haven't came across Material Maker before. It's nice to learn about this program as an alternative to Substance Designer. I use Instamat, and now I'm going to try switch it creating texture for effect in Illusion. I've never heard about Illusion. And we can apply the settings. So now we should be back. Basically, I'm just gonna test a couple of things. We are back. Yes, hell yeah, we are back. All right, cool. We made it back. We are back. Perfect. Everything is running. Gonna refresh. Check on the stream health and status and everything. Okay, so you say Illusion is a new program from the creator of Embergen. You say yes, it is indeed. Okay, it's interesting. I've never heard about Illusion. Interesting. That's the thing. These things are expensive. Creators of Embergen definitely offer their software for a lot of money. But it's nice to see more stuff coming into play here. I hope we're not super lagging right now. Is everything running like it's supposed to? Everybody? Yes, let me know. Thank you, Robotic Claw, for your follow. I appreciate you a lot. Okay, so now we're gonna continue in this maze here. We have a shape. We put it into a, what is it called? A distort, to distort it. Then we added it to a 0 to have the background back. Then I'm just gonna take these away, start deleting, start cleaning around. Swirl, I'm gonna keep, maybe we need it for later. Then we have the warp that we're gonna work on later. We don't need any cloud. Basically, we added a normal noise. We added a Gaussian blur to that noise. Boom, there, done. And this will be hooked here. And what we're trying to do here is following the course, right? The course says so far, we go through those steps in Substance Designer where we go through like some type of transform, then it goes into some type of a warp. And yeah, well, you get your first results here, and then it goes into another warp that is made by cells. So we can continue now. Ignore the maze here in the noise and everything else. So let's hook this up into here, and let's see how that warp looks like. Is this kind of similar to what we're getting or what he's getting in the course? Kind of similar, but we need to put the intensity like way down of that warp. The way to do that is by decreasing this, and then we get something like that. Now, I'm not a super fan of what we're getting, so I'm kind of gonna like try to imitate it again because I don't want it to hit the edges at all, right? So I want it to be like this. Then after the math node, it will look like this. Then after the warp, it will look like this. Okay, now we need cells noise. How to get that in Material Maker? I have no idea. That's why we're learning this. So we're gonna make cells noise Vernoi. Is that a cell thing? I don't think so. It does not look very celly, but we will try with it a little bit. Maybe we can push it to look like a cell, which should look kind of like that, right? So we will push it around until we get a good result. So let's see what we can do. So this is the X. What is this doing? We're not gonna play with that. This is the stretch Y. We're also not gonna play with that. This is like the intensity. This is like the randomness. Okay, so we're not getting any cells from here. Let me think. Oh, actually I have a document ready. Generated by Gemini. Let's see. I'm gonna Control F, say cells or Vernoi. Vernoi noise node, triangle, Vernoi noise node. Generates circular or cellular patterns, often referred to as Vernoi noise. Material Maker includes a dedicated Vernoi noise node. Okay, but where are the cells though? There's not really the actual cells node. Now, how do we get that to work is a question. That's a good question, dude. Let me see. So it should be something like a cell. It should be called that. It shouldn't be something incredibly crazy or something, right? What's an FBM? What does that do? Scale X. That's an interesting texture. Okay, it's a bit cloudy, and these are the folds of the different noises. That's kind of cool. This is how many iterations it is done to make that texture persistent. This is how clear it is. Okay, we are probably not gonna get that result. And I'm thinking, how can we fake that result now? That could be a difficult task to do, honestly. But what it is, it's just about learning. So cells 4, it looks kind of like a pixelated noise, to me at least. And it should give us this end result where it's so chunky and it's like literally taking parts away. It's making it look very chunky. So let's see what we can do about that. So what I will do is I will take a, what is it called? Where is it? Like any noise that we did, like this one, for example. Let's take that one and let's pixelate it. Is there a pixelated like noise texture or something? Pixel, filter pixelize. Okay, so if I hook that in here, it will already color it, which something we don't want. That is doing it in one column. Okay, rows. Okay, this is how many rows there are. Levels, this is how many colors there are. Dither, this is how much dithering there is. We can put it to 0. And these are the dither types. Okay, so this is what the pixelize is doing here. Okay, so what we will try is a cloud noise. And that is like huge like this, right? So now we're gonna try to pixelize on this and see what we will get. Why? Because we had a 16 by 16. We didn't have much to play with, right? So let's add dithering on this. Okay, let's try from a normal pixelize, honestly. Pixelize. We have simple pixels. We have noise color, simple pixel, smooth. Okay, so let's try simple pixels. Then we will try pixel filter. Okay, so we'll try those two. Let's see what's gonna happen. Boom, put that here. And it will look like this. Columns are gonna add more. Like what if we say 64 by 64? This will be the resolution, I'm guessing. Right, so 64. Oh, numpad is not working. Okay, now it is working. Okay, now it's not working. Okay, they need to fix this, honestly. Let's do 64 by 64. This will give us the noise. Now 64 by 64. Okay, so what I'm thinking about is, you know that filter in Photoshop that actually like makes it, how to say, it makes it looks like parts and chunks. We have, it's easier for me to watch your stream on Twitch, so I'll switch to, yeah, no problem, absolutely. Skeed just joined. Hey everyone, nice to have you here. Yeah, I'm trying to understand what the heck the problem is here, honestly. And that is probably not the solution, because we anyway want it to look a little bit different in the sense of we want it to look like the cells here. So what I will do is I will start researching here. So I'll go back to Gemini and see what we can do here. So I already prepared that search, right? Like I did ask it to do it for me. So let's do a how do I get cells for node results in Material Maker? All right, let's see how we can do that. Hopefully there is a way. Based on available documentation and community discussion, there isn't a direct cell for node in Material Maker with that exact name. However, you can achieve similar results using Material Maker noise nodes. Okay, particularly by combining a Voronoi noise with a color to value node. All right, let's check that out. Okay, let's do it. So Voronoi node, that is hooked to a color by color. Okay, two color. Is that the one? Fill to color. Let's check it out again. To color to value. Okay, so color to value. Are you kidding me? To random color. Yeah, fill to color. It's doing not much really. Maybe here. Okay, let's see what we can do. Let's go back. So it's saying Voronoi noise node. This is okay. Here's a node by node approach to replicate cells for look in Material Maker. All right. So Voronoi noise node. This is the foundational node in Substance Designer. The different cells node 1, 2, 3, 4 are essentially variations of Voronoi noise in Material Maker. You can start with a simple Voronoi noise node. Okay. Set the distance type to Chef. Okay, let's see if we can do that. Distance type. We don't really have a lot of options here. Randomness, intensity, it could be hallucinating. This is a key step, blah, blah, blah. Sometimes refer to Manhattan distance. Produce the distinctive square-like cells that are the characteristics. Set the distance type. Okay. But we don't have distance type. Do we? Scale, stretch, intensity. That is basically everything that we have here. Is there a distance type? I'm being sillier now. Distance type. Hello, everybody. Test 1, 2, 3. We're back. We're alive again. Yeah, the computer died on me for a second there, so I apologize about that. I need to put the camera back again. It's embarrassing indeed, but it is what it is. So can't change that. Hopefully, all y'all are still there. And yeah, it's just the PC died on me, and yeah, can't change that now. So thank you for staying there. We're alive. Yes, we are. Okay, now let's get that back again. Camera's on, hopefully soon. And yeah, the Discord, I need to hook that up again. Sorry about that. So I will just start it again, and we'll speak on stage. Perfect. Okay. Share my screen, and I'll share the second screen here. Just have to make sure that everything is set up correctly. Yes, it is. Perfect. Okay, we're gonna close a lot of apps that we are not actually using. And we are live here. We are live there. Perfect. Everything is set up, guys. Perfect. All right, so we're gonna close NordVPN here, and we will basically start with where we left off. I mean, Material Maker kind of like saved my ass here because it's auto-saved, but you know what? I'm gonna save just in case. I will call this flakes. Just gonna save it right now just so we have it. That is cool that it actually saved us in that sense. Now, we were in Gemini, right? We were trying to figure this thing out. And it is, in my opinion, kind of hallucinating. Like, I'm just gonna tell it, yo. Like, there is no such a thing as distance. So what is it saying here? This is a foundational node in Substance Designer, and the different cells nodes 1, 2, 3, 4 are essentially what variations of Voronoi noise in Material Maker. You can start with simple Voronoi node. Set the distance type. This does not exist. Sorry, but there is no distance field, whatever. Like, come on, dude. Come on, man. Help us here, dude. For you people who are watching, you could actually help me out here. Save my ass a little bit. If you can find how to get the results, I'll be super thankful. But I'll be looking it up also actively. So
I just started
no
off
worries
with
about
a
that.
square.
I'm gonna put this in window so we can switch between tabs. Okay. Use the Voronoi node. Start with standard Voronoi node. Set the distance type. Bro, there is no. You are absolutely correct, and I apologize for the error in my previous response. That the distance type is not featured in Material Maker. Voronoi node. You say maybe you can right click on Voronoi node and checking settings, or of the see if the property panel is available. Okay, let me check that for you. Thanks for letting me know. Okay, so let's see. we're gonna need a property panel here, probably. So we have a view. We have a center view, reset, zoom, show panels. Brushes, hierarchy, histogram, layers, library, parameters. Yeah, that's the one that we need. So gonna hit on parameters here. Parameters is right there. We're gonna hook that up down there. Actually, instead of the view, because I don't need the view right now. I mean, how to hook this? Oh, here, like this. Okay. Now we're gonna put that up. Back to parameters, and then we will click on the white noise. Where we're right, Vernoy. There is no parameters. Okay, so it works a little bit different in here. So which one has parameters? There is no parameters. Is that what he said? Parameter view? Property. Yes, okay, property, not parameters. Let's check it out. Brushes, blah, blah, blah. Parameters, preview, reference, hierarchy, histogram. Brushes, these are all the panels. So what does the histogram do? Nothing of importance for now. Reference, preview. Hierarchy, what does that mean? Nothing really interesting. Okay, right click, you said. It doesn't do anything, so there is no right click here. So let's see, we're gonna continue with the AI stuff and see. So here, set the distance type, set the distance type parameter to Manhattan. Okay, there is no set distance type. There is no set distance type. Set distance type option. And let's see what it tells us. Otherwise, we're gonna switch the AI here, because this is too hallucinating. Ah, yeah, exactly. Or did you find it? Is that an... did you find it? Let's see. Use the checkboard node in the Material Maker library. Okay, sorry. You are absolutely correct. There is no... To get a square cell pattern similar to what Substance Designer, cell 4 node produces the most direct and simple method in Material Maker is to use checkboard node. Okay. Here's the correct approach. Use the checkboard node in the Material Maker library, locate and add checkboard node. Okay, let's check it out. We're gonna check that out, that's for sure. Okay, checkboard board node. Okay, and we're getting these patterns. Okay, triangles. Okay, that is kind of interesting. We're kind of getting there. Can we hook? Okay, so we have Zor, min, max, add, multiply, pow, Zor. Okay, what is it? What is the next steps saying to us? Adjust the repeat parameter on the checkboard. Node controls the number of the squares. This approach gives you... Oh man, this AI is super bad. Not very helpful. Okay, so we have Vernoy, which we want to be... I mean, kind of we want this to be like a clamp. We want it to be random in that sense, because right now we're getting this, right, with triangles down there. We want it to be randomized, kind of like the Vernoy noise. However, how the heck are we going to do that? We can only do just things like that, which is not really good. There's also no randomization of the color. That is not good either. Okay, so here's what we gotta do. We're gonna try different AIs here, probably. Or are we gonna do a deep search? Okay, let's do a deep research. Let's see what's gonna happen. Well, we're gonna... also, I will go into their Discord. That's also another way to do it. And ask a question. And also, while I'm asking a question, I will definitely try to basically search if anyone else had asked that question. So what I'll do is look in their general, and we'll just type cells 4. Let's see. No one has asked cells 4 question or anything cells 4 related. Okay. So someone says, well, sometimes you might need to high resolution animation sheets. Say I need like 512 for each cell for 4 tile sheets. Let's see, cells 4. Substance Designer, cells 4. Okay, let's see what that person was talking about. Does anyone know has an idea to how to recreate color source input of cell 4 from SD? It creates the mosaic effect. You mean the parameter or the image input? Okay, maybe example Voronoi pattern, and I want to each of the type blah blah blah. You want to turn an image into a mosaic, right? Yeah, I guess it's not that difficult. I was trying blah blah. Let's see. Wouldn't that slope blur node do that? Okay, let's check the slope blur node, guys. We're getting close. Slope blur. All right, let's get that thing in next to the texture here, for example. Put that MFR here. Let's see what it does. So we don't want it into the resolution. That is BS, and so we want it here. Slope blur is doing what? Not much. All right, so let's put it 16 by 16. Nothing. Okay, so we're gonna put clouds in here, and we're gonna put this into 24. Yes, something like that. Okay, so this is that. This is this. It's not doing much. It's not doing much. What am I missing? What am I missing? Grid size. Grids. It's like it needs some information from somewhere else, right? Like, what if the information came from here? How? Oh, we're getting something. We are getting somewhere, guys. Now let's try to get the Zor here, just for giggles. All right, and now we're gonna get the Voronoi noise in here. Okay, and what is it doing if I increase? What is it doing if I decrease? Not okay. So what happens if this was on 512 like that, or what happens if this was on 64 like that? No. We're just getting a simple blur. Nothing else is actually happening here. Okay, we're gonna continue the reading journey here and continue with seeing what the actual developer said in that example. Someone is saying, I made something similar today for testing, ended up with, okay, join, so we don't, okay, ended up with this because we misdilate color, forgot the name from SD, so I can't fill up. Okay, let's see what this person did. He did a buffer, morphology dilation, Gaussian blur, a normal map, occlusion, buffer. I wonder what that does. Morphology dilation. What does that mean? All right, let's try morphology. All right, so morphology, morph. Okay, what is that? What does that do, dude? Morphology. Ah, not you, damn it. Morphology, this one. What is it exactly this? Let's put a noise. Ooh, look at that. Look at that. Ooh, nice. Nice. Kinda is what we want. Kinda. We're getting close. Let's take that white noise. Put it here. Ah, look at that, dude. That is super cool. Let's see what we can do with this morphology, but with a Voronoi noise, right? And increase. Okay, almost as if we need... It is not bad. It's not bad, but it's not quite there yet. I think the best result we got is from the noise. But I don't like how the noise is super, you know, squarey. So I'm trying to think here. What if we do a transform on this? And we, like, rotate it. Oh, it is clamping, right? So that is interesting. I'm just effing around here. Let's see what's gonna happen. Boom, morphology. Let's put it less. Now we're getting something interesting. Let's try this instead. Okay. What happens if the actual resolution got higher or lower in that sense? Nothing much. So it stays like it is. All right. So now the actual test will happen where I hook all those, so the white noise with the transform and the morphology, together into another warp, which will be up there. Cool. I'm just gonna disconnect this connection. Control click, right click, middle click. How to do? Okay. Just gonna double click here, I guess. Okay, maybe I should have double clicked on the input itself. But I don't want to disconnect both of them, right? So I really don't want to do that. So let's see what we can do. We have transform, check, morphology, check. Let's add another wrap and see what, as other warp, sorry. Let's see what the results will be here. First input, second input. Let me try to think. In the second input with the first input from the other warp. Ooh, look at those chunks. I think we're getting a good result here. I don't want to spend too much time here. Maybe there is another way to do it, but I really like this, so we might be gonna go with this. It looks like the Arabian Peninsula, actually. Funny enough. Let's see what we can do. Slope, distance to top. Okay, but I like it. Like, what happens if it's instead of erosion, it's a dilation? Okay, so it's eating it up in the erosion. I like the erosion type better than the other. What happens if it's, you know, more or less? I think we're getting good results here. Yeah. Look at that thing, man. Okay, back to the course. Let's see what we can do. And yeah, it's, you know, it's eating on, you know, it's eating it up here. So I guess we're kind of doing the same results. One idea I could see doing is blurring this, right? So let's blur it a little bit. Let's add a Gaussian blur. All right, so let's see how that looks. Looks like this. That's way too much blur. So it's gonna go back to 25, and we're gonna hook it up. All right, oh, no, that's not what we want. We want this in here, and this is gonna look like, ooh, okay. Now it's way smoother. We're gonna decrease that a little bit. Something like this, maybe. How about this? Let's try it. Let us try it. All right, save. Go back. Let's keep going.
Then I want to start warping that. So this is my macro warp. I'm just going to throw down a Perlin noise, get that a little bit bigger, and then do a nice warp. Now I would encourage you to follow along with me. So if you do have Substance Designer and you would like to build this along with me, you can pause, you can try to get to the results I've gotten to as you see the rest of this graph. Whatever you would like to do, but I definitely.
So what are the next steps? We have a warp, and that warp got the next step it went to is a blur, another blur, and then we have a histogram. I wonder if we have a histogram select. That is something I'm really wondering about right now. Okay, so let's try that. I want to understand the upper part first, and then we're going to go into the lower part. So let's do a simple blur on this, which is already kind of blurry, honestly, the results here. Like, this is not blurry at all, right? And this is kind of blurry already. So let's take that. We're not going to blur it. Let's get a histogram on here. No histogram, right? That's what I thought too. All right, so we're going to look that up inside of the Material Maker Discord, or even better, we will check our documents first here, right? So this is a document I made with AI, so it's probably not completely correct. So histogram, let's see what we can see, if it's on the list or not. So it is not on the list. Let's see what we can do. It says, where's the beginning of this paragraph? The software provides an extensive library containing hundreds of nodes, filter, pattern, blah, blah, blah. Uniform color for solid values, bitmap, blah, 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 blah. Tile generator for complex pattern, histogram scan, for contrast. Okay, nice. Next. What is it saying here? Tips for adapting existing Substance Designer tutorials. Utilize real-time feedback. Make extensive use of Material Maker's 2D and 3D preview panels, as well as the histogram panel for real-time feedback and debugging. Nothing really interesting here. Okay, so we're gonna look that up again using Gemini, and we're gonna fail 1,000 times. Let's see, histogram select. All right, so how can I... What? How did you say? Yeah, let's do it. How can I use histogram select in Material Maker? In Material Maker. Right, let's check that out. No, don't deep research. Oh, damn it. Stop. Okay. Yes, no deep research. Just let me know. Let's see what's gonna happen. Histogram select node in Material Maker is... No, there is no histogram select. Or did I type it wrong? Because I'm dyslexic anyway. Nothing. No histogram select. Texture select. Filter fill select. Let's try that one. Let's see what's gonna happen. Oh, we can't. Okay. Select. Just wondering. We have 3D texture select shape. The fill we just tried. Let's try this one. Oh, that's a 3D. Okay, we're not gonna go there. We're gonna go back and see the... There is no... Oh man, it just answers. Like, that's just so shameful. Okay, we're gonna go back to... We're gonna back to ChatGPT maybe. Let me do something. Let me try it first in ChatGPT and tell you about the... Oh, you know what? Before we do that, let's go to Discord, their Discord, and look up for histogram. Histogram select. Tip search histogram select in Material Maker Discord channel. Yeah, I will do that. Histogram select. Let's see. And let's see what happens. Life hack. Use simplex noise in combination with histogram select step node to get this kind of... Okay, let's see what this guy did. We have histogram select. It actually exists. But why am I not getting that? Now I'm getting really frustrated. Like, why am I not getting any histogram stuff here? Did they remove it? What the heck? All right, let's try it. Select. Why does this guy have it? Histogram select buffer. Where does he have it from? Let's see. Do you really think it is called histogram select? He submitted a PR. It's called tone range. It might be even be in 0.95. You say. There's a new comment. Nah, it's just the... What? It's... I can't zoom in. Nah, it's just the step node think. What do you mean? Just the step node think. What do you mean by that? Can you explain a little bit? I don't understand. Step node. Is that like step node? Filter tones step node. Okay. Let's put that here. All right. Width. All right. Value. Invert. What is this doing? I want only the edges, basically, is what I'm trying to get here. Mohit Malik, if you can get me that, I will be super thankful. All right, so let's see. Histograms exist already. FBM, RGBA. You say, Terox said histogram select / step node, same thing. I see it. I see where I am in the Discord and I can see Tarox here. Histogram select already exists. FBM RGBA should be recorded as a single shader. I don't think it is possible to do binary smooth. Let's see more discussion about this. Let's see. Why is your histogram node a color node? Shouldn't it be a grayscale? So some people are able to put it. Yet the tone step, basically, what you're telling me is basically doing the same. Is that what you're trying to tell me here? But if it is, then why are we not getting the same result from the histogram select in the tutorial? That's what I'm trying to understand here. So histogram select node Material Maker is a powerful tool for isolating specific value ranges from grayscale textures. This is particularly useful for creating masks and controlling where the effect textures are applied. Okay, the core concept is histogram select node, but okay, I'm just gonna ask AI why when I search for histogram select, I don't find it. Did they change the name? Maybe. Let's see. Why is your histogram node color shader? Not a grayscale. What else there is about the discussion? Histogram select node. Let's see. Oh, that is coming up next. Nodes in the vote for feature release. Histogram select. I could see that it is still in the making. Right, to be confused, my previous response was based on the histogram select node as if it exists in the other software like Substance Designer, and it appears that Material Maker does not have that node. Material Maker's node library is constantly evolving, and some nodes have different names. Here's how you can achieve similar results to histogram select in Material Maker as suggested by users in online forums, using the if node. The if node is a logical node that allows you to perform different actions based on conditions. You can use it to create mask based on a different value range. Okay, here's a breakdown of the process. Add an if node, find the if node, yes, connect your input, connect the grayscale texture you want to mask. Example noise. Or height node to the A input of the if node. Okay, so you can add two things. Set your comparison level, use the B input to set a specific grayscale value, set the condition if it's bigger or if it equals, create a mask to select. Yeah, I think that is like a normal mask type of. But is that what the actual thing is doing here, the histogram select? I wonder. I'm just gonna listen to him a little bit
here. All right, so without breaking too much more concentration, my next warp is just going to break it up even more, so I get a little bit more detail around the edge. And I'm using a cells here. So if I go cells, you see we have different options. This is cells 4. This is where it starts. So I've scaled that quite a bit there. And then I'm just blurring it a little bit so that we have some good grayscale information to do the warp on this. Now I will explain this next part in a little bit, but the goal here is to get my alpha so that I can use that to mask everything out, and then to get an edge. I want somewhat of an edge glow that I'll break up here in a minute.
Yeah.
So I'm blurring my edge so that I have a little bit of grayscale information around the side.
Oh, that's why the blur. Dude, that is essential.
And if I take a histogram select.
That is what. Okay. All right. So it's really important to watch the tutorial to understand what is happening here. Okay. So it seems that Mohit Malik, you were completely right here. So let's try it. Let's first we need a blur. And the blur here after the node warp again. Now I get it, man. These things. I was wondering like how the heck am I gonna play with a histogram if I can't like yeah, it is what it is. But yeah, let's get it. Let's get a blur, filter blur, boom, here. We're getting those edges. So what we'll do is lessen the blur here a little bit, and we will get that into the tone step, like we said before. Probably not inverted for now. And let's see how we can play with this. So width. So this width is telling me, I guess, the width of the value it's allowed to take. So the less I make it, we just have to play with it a little bit to get the results that we want from it. So how do I do this? Value. So now it's taking the brightest value, right? If I invert it again, this is the brightest value. Wait, the blur is here. We wanted to take these values here. It's both ways. What do you mean? Try tones range. Okay. All right. Got it. Tones. Filters, tones, and filters, tone, auto step. Filter tones step. That's the one we have. Filter tones map, and then filter tones range. All right. Let's get the range in here. Boom. Let's get it. Dude, look at that thing. We get it working. Malik. Hell yeah. Thank you so much, man. Appreciate you. Thank you so much. That's what I'm talking about. Cool, guys. That is awesome. Let's keep it going then. Now we got the range. We got the edges. That is awesome, man. Okay. Let's get it working. So I have tones range in here. And let's get to... All right, so we got the range. Got the grayscale. Perfect. So the blur was actually super helpful. All right, blur, HQ, grayscale. Perfect. All right, we're gonna keep watching just to understand his workflow a little bit.
Select. I love this node.
Go a little bit backwards.
Gives you information around the side. And if I take a histogram select, I love this node. This gives you really good edges. And let me show you. I'll just drop down one. So automatically you can see starts to find different areas within there. And you can mess around with that as much as you want. Contrast will make those edges harder. You can see I was able to get a little bit of an edge from that. And I'll use this to get interior edges and all sorts of stuff. But this allows me to start breaking up an edge, and then you'll see how I'm getting more edges with another histogram select. So again, this is our alpha. So I'm leaving that alone, and I'm going to use that.
So he kept this on the side for later, so we can have it all in one. That is a result after that chopping, basically. Okay, and he just used a blur to keep it separate. Okay, so let's do that too, because I don't want to have that problem, basically. So I'll make a Gaussian blur like he did here. I think that is quite... nah, not fast blur. Let's just go with a blur, a normal one. Filter blur, I guess. Yes. Okay. Perfect. Yeah, we'll just use that one. And let's keep it going here. So this will be our alpha value for later on, which we'll probably put it in a lerp or something. But yeah, I'll go back to the tutorial and let's watch some more.
Over here.
Okay, wait, let's put this on HD again. Teachables don't really.
Then I have
so
my
nicely.
edge, and I wanted to break up the edge. I don't want to have a perfect edge around my embers. I'm basically creating an emissive mask for my embers. So I want the edge to have a little bit of emissive around it. And then I want...
How is he doing that? He's doing that through taking the erosion that we did, putting it into a... Oh my god, this is so hard to read. Ugh. Okay, we're gonna wait for him until he explains it, maybe.
The interior to have some emissive in it, just to show that residual burning from the embers there. So I've...
Blur HQ, grayscale, we did that. And then the next thing is to invert it to get the variety out of it. Then we put it into a blur, then into a warp of its own. Okay, let's do that. Let's get that done, guys. Okay, we have a Gaussian blur here. And let's see. Okay, so we have a Gaussian blur here. Let me know if you guys can see everything. You can hear me and all. We're doing the same thing in Substance Designer, but this time into Material Maker. This is what we're doing here. So I'm trying to get an open source program as a challenge to learn it from the start. And this is what we've been doing. If you missed what we've been doing, it's also available on YouTube. Okay, I'm gonna delete all of this stuff that we were effing around with. So we're just gonna go, nothing is connected here, right? So yeah, we're just gonna go delete to clean things up, right? We were just trying to understand the program. Swirl, we don't need you anymore. So here's what we did. We have a shape, it's a square, And the way you do it in Material Maker is you have a polygon or a circle or whatever. We chose a polygon of 4, which is a quad, right? So we have a quad here. You can see the result on the right. Then we did a distortion, which gave us, you know, the ability to distort like that. And then it went into a math that we added 0 to it so we can have the background back. Boom, here we have the background back. Then we added a warp to that. That warp went through the noise that we made, just a noise texture, a very normal one, and a Gaussian blur on it, on top of it. This will simulate Perlin noise, but in Material Maker, right? Because Material Maker just does not have Perlin noise. Or maybe it has and I couldn't find it. So I just simulated the same effect, noise, and with a Gaussian blur on top of it. Then I warped it. Then we had this result here, basically. So we went from this distortion to this warp, right? Then what we did is we took a white noise, just a noise with a bit of anti-aliasing. Then a transform on top of that. I rotated it a little bit so we can get that same effect. Then I added a morphology transform, which just does this. It takes the texture and kind of inflates its values. I don't know how to explain it the best way. Then we added the Gaussian blur on that and we warped it inside of this. So it went from here to here. Now we have this. And then basically what we did is we added the Gaussian blur on top of that. And now the edges. There is Perlin noise. Okay, I should check that out, honestly. Yeah. Perlin noise. Is it the FBM one? Is that the Perlin noise in Material Maker? All right, you let me know, Malik. Yeah? Let me know in the comments. Okay, so, yeah, we added a warp in here. Then after that, there was a Gaussian blur to basically get the gray values here. And you know what we did? We went into the tones range and we were able to select that. Tones range is basically a histogram select in Material Maker, where you could see like, okay, you could choose which value on the edges of that. I think search FBM or something. Yeah, I think it is. So when I searched for Perlin noise, it gave me noise FBM. I guess I was fooled with the idea that it doesn't look like a Perlin noise. So maybe that's on me. I guess like just from the way it looks very cloudy to me. So it didn't look like Perlin noise to me, but maybe I'm wrong. Maybe we should have, you know, decreased this a little bit, you know, added more of this and, you know, eventually made it look like a Perlin noise, I guess. Yeah, I guess that's what we should have done here to make it Perlin noisy. So there is something called FBM noise in Material Maker if you want to make a Perlin noise. I just really like the result from here better for some reason. I don't know why. Maybe it's better. But anyway, Gaussian blur, then add the range on the sides so we can get the edges. And now we have that as our alpha and we will continue to create the full textures. But what I would like to do here is take the result from this and basically just invert it. So I'll hook it up here again. And let's invert that thingy. So we will do... Where was... No, not the Gaussian blur. Sorry about that. We will invert this here. We'll make another morphology from this. And basically invert it, which was this here. Yep. I mean, that's not a complete inversion, is it? All right, let's check that out. Let's do invert. All right, now we're gonna check it out. Kinda, yeah. I mean, that's a cleaner one. Let's try both. Let's try one mythology with the dilation and one morphology with the erosion. Did I say mythology? One with the erosion as well. Okay, let's check that out. Let's see what we can do. Cool. Morphology, erosion, morphology, dilation, and what we'll do is also hook it up with a Gaussian blur later. We're going to keep that invert for later. And we will warp them with each others, basically. That's what we're going to do. We have Malik here says, there are different options in FBM noise you can choose from. You can change the noise type from noise, the very first option. Okay, cool. Let me check that, honestly. Let's do that. So now it's on value. If I put it to Perlin, dude, yeah, totally. Yeah. You just have to look, basically. Hell yeah, that's so many. Cellular 2, look at that. Cellular 4. We basically have all the options. Okay, damn. We basically missed that, dude. Like, we made we made morphology while we could have done something like this, right? Let's check it out. Let's check it out. Okay, it was on 2. Okay, now let's see how we can push this to make it look more like cells 4 from Substance Designer. So Silver 5, 6. Interesting. Okay, let's go with 4. Let's see what we can do here. Folds are just adding more complexity, I guess. Iterations, persistence. Oh, look at that. We're kind of getting the same result. Offset. Yeah. Just we're not getting really the same. Like, maybe if I add a morphology on top of this, maybe we start getting something with more stuff. But for now, thank you so much for telling me that there's actually a problem noise. I thought they would be. It would be simple. Okay, next. Let's warp these into each other. So we'll make a warp. And actually, I'm just going to put all of this down because now we're running out of space eventually. So yeah, we have our morphology here. It's going into the Gaussian blur and straight up there. And now I'm going to take these things below. And we'll add the warp again on top of them. Let's add a normal warp. Nothing that we already used. Boom. Oh, wait, that's a different warp. What's that warp? Okay. Why am I getting two different? Transform warp. That's the one. Okay. Delete. Okay. Slope. Okay, we have the same. And now we will connect the Gaussian blur from this into this. So we're getting this result here, or the other way around, actually. This one up there and this one down there. So we're warping it with its like self, basically. Now let's get back to the course. Basically, here we have an invert grayscale that we did. It's kind of the inversion of it. But of course, here you're getting way less details like we have because we didn't go with the cells 4. But now I'm trying to think about it a little bit more. Maybe I could make it less intense. Because that is the final value of the warp. There's a lot of blacks, there's a lot of whites, and what I'm getting is, drum roll please, it's a lot of whites. Okay, let's see what we can do. Is the invert here less intense than the morphology? Is it? It's kind of less intense. So we're gonna go with the invert instead. Hook it up to the Gaussian blur. Make it look like this, and then the final result will look like that. Okay, so now let's add a contrast or a brightness, anything that can help us here. Filter, brightness, contrast. Okay, now let's click on it first. And let's see if we can get that like black in there as well. Okay, maybe this is gonna help. Let's check it out. We have to F around a little bit. So we have to see if this is gonna work. Of course, here a whole different result, right? So he warped it on itself.
Taking the same cells and run it through a slope.
Yeah.
Blur grayscale. You can see there. And whenever I use a slope blur grayscale, for the most part, I invert and run it through that, and that'll start to give me a little bit more rounder shapes in there. And then I'm going to warp that just using the same information. You can see I start getting a little bit more organic, net-like nature to this texture.
And let's see if that is the case here. Are we getting that here? Let's see if we play a little bit with it. It's getting very noisy. Does this look like nature? Do you guys agree with that? So this is like super not warpy, and this is more warpy. Well, I guess we have to try. Just don't want it to be too intense. Something like that. Let's see. We have to try and see what happens. Okay. Then it's going to go where?
I'm throwing down another cells 4 here, blurring that.
Yeah.
And then using that to do a multi-directional warp grace.
Okay, I'm going to check if we have a multi-directional warp, but I think we're already using that, correct? We already have a multi-directional warp? I think it is doing a multi-directional. Let's see, multi-directional, multi-warp. That's another one. Okay, that might be the one we need later. You just hook it up to here and then again here. Okay, so let's do the cell 4 thing that he did, but in Material Maker again. And I'm just gonna, you know, use my memory here. We had a white noise first. And that white noise was on 16 by 16. I'm just gonna zoom in a little bit so we all see it. 16 by 16 here. I'm gonna do more because that is what he had. Maybe 64. Then we had it hooked to a morphology. So morphology, and this is basically okay. So we're gonna click on it first, bring it down, and we see already we're getting similar results, but with a lot of details. We need that to stay the way it is. Maybe a little more, something like this. Let's try that. Okay, I forgot the transform there because I think that will add a lot to it, honestly. Let's see, and hook it up here. So basically I just rotated it like a little bit here, and it will look like this. That's a lot, as you can see. Let's just scale it up a little bit. Okay, let's try that. Morphology is giving me that. Then we need a Gaussian blur on this thing. Let's do this. Here we go. Gaussian blur, boom. And here we go. Gaussian blur. Now we need less Gaussian blur here. Just a little less. Okay, cool. Then we have a multi-warp. That is the actual thing that we need to do. But first, the brightness and contrast. I think it needs that a little bit to get similar results. Not so much contrast, maybe. Okay, let's see. So we kind of just need to emphasize the blacks here a little better. And let's try intensity with the grid size. And let's see what's going to happen. Ooh, that's kind of interesting. What does he get? He gets like really crazy results like that. It looks almost like, are we getting that a little bit? Yeah, we are. We are actually getting a little bit of that. I mean, maybe I'm delusional here, but we are kind of getting a little bit of that. By the way, cell 4 is Voronoi noise. Yeah, I get it. Hey, thank you for the raid. Absolutely appreciate it. Holding fan dots. I hope you had a great stream. Thanks for rating me. I appreciate you. Okay, so let's see. We will have an intensity. Yo, what's good? How's it going? Pretty good. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. We're learning at DoubleJump Academy. We're learning this beautiful course here on how to basically create real-time, professional real-time VFX. Right now, we're diving deep into Substance Designer alternatives, which is Material Maker. And there's not really a lot of resources out there. I have my dude here, Malik, helping me out because he's an expert. So yeah, welcome. Let me have you in the chat. Let me know what you do, if you work in the industry, or if you're just curious. This is pretty much games industry right here. So yeah, I'm gonna keep going. If you feel like sticking around, please do so. If you want to go, I understand. Yeah, it's very niche, dude. Like, this cannot be more niche, I can tell you that. So as we can see, this here in the course has got into a multi-warp, and we'll see how we can get that multi-warp working basically here as well. So we need similar results. I'm just gonna play a little bit with the intensity here, see what we can get, right? So we have quality, and the quality, as we can see, is gonna ruin it if it's on 0. And okay, so wait, now it's on minimum. What if it was on ooh, look at that, dude. We got the cells. Hell yeah. Malik, are you watching? Look at that thing. We got the cells 4 kind of thing in here. Hey, that's awesome. Okay, I'm gonna keep this for later because we kind of created the cells 4. Very happy with that. But I will also copy it again. Malik, by the way, I literally tried what you told me with the Voronoi. Like, I get it, but what I don't get is, so when I put the Voronoi noise, right? Noise, Voronoi, Voronoi, right? V-O Voronoi, right? So this is how it looks like. This is not in any shape or form looking like the cells 4. Cells 4 is looking more like this here on the left. And so I get it. Like, I researched it and everything, but it's not looking the same. So what do you think? How can we get this to look like the cells 4? Yeah, that's the only thing that I don't get. If anybody knows the trick, let me know. But this is looking pretty neat, honestly. So I'm going to keep this for later. Can I add a comment here, actually? No. Can I? Control-C, maybe? No, Control-C is copy. Yeah, I'm going to leave that for later. Okay, cool. So we have the multi-warp. We're going to put it into a minimum. You said, Malik, is try other output. Ooh. What do you mean, try other output? This one? Or fill? What do you mean? Okay, do you mean other? Like literally something called other output? No. Nothing here. Camouflage? Voronoi camouflage? Is that a node here? Okay, let's try it out. Try other output. Voronoi. Trying. It's the only other one. Okay, this is looking interesting, honestly. This looks cool. That's what it looks like. Oh, got it. Yeah. So we have that here. Malik says no other output of Voronoi node. No other outputs for... I really don't get what you mean. Like, I see these outputs. Nodes, borders, fill. I don't know. Something I'm missing here. But I'll keep them if you can explain it to me later. For now, we're going to keep going with the... What's the max doing here? It's like a mix between both. But the minimum, I think, is getting us exactly that result that we want. Intensity-wise, this can go up. Or quality... Am I even getting what I want to get here? Am I? Just changing the actual resolution to C. What kinda? Let's go back to the course and see what are the next steps, basically. Click on fill, you say? No other outputs of Voronoi node. Click on fill. Alright, so let's see. Fill. Click on it. Alright. Here we go, dude. Okay. So, if I take that out... Okay. Now this is a whole new game, dude. Borders or nodes. Okay. Alright, so if I make a grayscale out of that, I'm getting cell 4. Correct? That's what we're doing here, right? Okay, so now because of that, because we explored this whole situation here, I would like to start again. So this is an exploration. Now this changes the whole game, dude. So let's do it. We are getting cell 4 here. Easy peasy. Thank you so much, Malik. Appreciate you so much, my friend. Okay, let's try a 5x5. Okay, now we're getting a lower resolution, but much more. I'm just reviewing a little bit, just checking, how that shape looks like a little bit here. Getting super hyped now. Let's do a 7x7. Okay, that is a bit closer to what we have here. And that thing is going to go into a... not morphology. All the morphology really is giving it that extra oomph. Let's try it again. I'm just effing around here. So let's see what we can get with morphology, because I really like that node. I think it looks beautiful. So let's try it again. I like how it, blends the edges. Also, mentioned you on Discord, you may use transform node in Material Maker instead of multi-warp. All right, I'm gonna check you on Discord. Did you DM me in Material Maker? Hell yeah, dude. General. Okay. Let's see. I'm gonna jump to you in the present. Multi-warp in MM. Slope blur in SD. IIRC. I don't know what IIRC stands for, honestly. And so you mentioned me here. It's because you should use transform node for this effect. Actually, SD directional warp is Material Maker's transform node. So people using warp will get a different effect than expected. Ooh, okay, all right. Tone step. I can see what's happening here. You know what? We're going to try that. If I recall. Got it. Thank you. Appreciate you. Guys, you're very helpful today. Thank you so much. That's really cool from you guys. Okay. So I really like what the morphology is doing here. I'm going to try to focus here. And so I'm kind of going to keep that because like I really like what it's doing. Then I'm going to copy the Gaussian blur stuff. Here we go. It's going to be hooked here. And now we're getting a little bit of blur, right? Now, but we'll... Hey, who's followed? Thank you for the follow, Darth. Piloxa. I hope I said that without butchering it. Cool. Yeah, we get that part. And by the way, Marek, can I share, you think, in the Material Maker Discord that we are live? Because I really tried to see, like, where can I do that without sound spammy or anything? Because I think that's cool. Anyway, Voronoi, filter random, morphology, Gaussian blur, like we did before, and this we hooked into the warp. Let's see what we're getting if we're doing that. We are getting this result here. That is kind of cool, dude. That is better than before, even, right? So before we had this, and this is very, right? But this is very, right? And look at that. Look at that hexagon. Okay, so we're gonna reduce the blur here a little bit more. And you know what? The less I reduce it, the more I'm liking what it's taking here with like the different ranges. Hell yeah, dude. Okay, maybe a little bit more, maybe a little bit more. So we have like a whole like thing where you can select from it. Cool, yeah. So that is the new workflow, right? So I'm gonna take these MFers here, save it, of course. Go way down just to keep them for later. Okay, so now we actually have a cell. Now we can do a lot of cool stuff. All right, so one of the cool stuff we're gonna do, invert it. Boom, like that. Here we go. Boom, inverted. Then the next step is we're gonna blur it as well. And not too much, of course, just a little bit more. Then we will warp it again. Oh, wait, let me just check the workflow. Warp. Yes, that's the first warp. I don't need the brightness. I'm just going to copy that, see the result afterwards. So I'm just going to kick that in here and put that one in there. So I'm basically warping it on its... Look at that result here, man, that we're getting. That's a bit too much. Ooh, hell yeah. Now it's metallic. That's now we're getting like super cool results. Let's see. First, one after the other. So a little bit of that, not too much, right? And is this the intensity of it? Yeah, just a little bit of that warpness. Someone says, I think so. Not sure, though. Unfortunately, there is no... So, yeah, I understand. I understand. But you can ask, I mean, if it would be fine. Yeah, you're right. Maybe I should ask. I mean, I'm already in contact with the guy. With the dude. I already invited him on my podcast. Maybe he would accept. I'm just gonna tell him, hey man, I am streaming Material Maker on Twitch, and your friends dropped by. Yeah, thanks, Marek, for dropping by. The way, I appreciate you a lot. So I'm just gonna say hi. Yeah, we did that. Okay, warp, perfect. We made a warp, and Gaussian blur, warp, and then we need... So we warped it on itself. And what is the next step here? After warping it on itself. Let me try to remember here a lot about... we warp it on itself. And then we have a multi-directional warp with the cells that has more amount, right? So if I put Voronoi again... Voronoi noise, and that one will have 12, let's say 12 by 12. Then we take the fill, the sneaky thing that Malik taught us. Thank you, Malik. And let's see what we can do here. I'm just gonna say something. Hi Jack, hi everyone. Hey Rodzilla, Oh my god. Hell yeah. Thanks for dropping by. Appreciate you. The developer of Material Maker is here. Just realized that cell 4 is actually a Voronoi, and the fill output of that would be... So I've just got to tell you, I'm going to wrap up what we learned here. So I'm trying to replicate this tutorial, right? So they're doing it in Substance Designer, and I have no knowledge in Material Maker, and I'm trying everything from scratch to get the same results, right? So one of the main things we learned today, I can show you, like we started with the shape, then we added distortion, then I added it to a 0, so it's black. Then we had a warp made out of the Voronoi. Oh, actually, it's still doing the wrong thing here, I think. Yeah, and then I learned that actual Perlin noise exists, and it's inside of the FBM noise, and you just have to switch it to Perlin, and then you play with it a little bit to get kind of similar results. So that was cool from Malik that he taught me how to do that. And basically, I would just like to use that here just to see, like, the better results already. Yeah, this looks cool. How was it before? It was like this? Yeah, this is much better, dude. Hey, Beta-2, are you serious? We are at RC3 now. Okay, I don't really know what you mean, though. Like, wait. Do I have the wrong version? I have the wrong version, right? Ah, Beta-2. Okay. There's something horribly wrong here. Okay. So the developer of Material Maker is teaching me here. Material Maker. I'm gonna look it up. Maybe I did a mistake here. Maybe I don't know. So when I go on Material Maker, the website, right? I can go, and by the way, let's donate later on. Definitely we will donate. See membership options, and yeah, we will definitely donate later. We have a download now. Yeah, okay, so if I click on download now, I will go to this page. And in this page, warning, 1.4 releases are alpha/beta and are meant for testing. If you intend to do anything serious with Material Maker, it is advised to stick to 1.3. So I'm anyway doing, don't worry, you just have a few bugs. Ooh, oh shit. All right, so I'm gonna, how do I get access to the RC3? How do I get access to that? Be adventurous? Yeah, okay, got it. By the way, can I, for future streams, is there like a page on, or a channel in Material Maker where I could say like, hey, we're live, we're learning? Scroll down. Okay. You say, whatever, scroll down. We're gonna scroll down. Ooh, this is so cool, dude. That's the one you say. All right, let's see. It's already, man, I'm so bad at reading. I'm just gonna check. Okay, here we go. 1.4 RC3. Here we go. Yes, 7 days ago. Cool. Okay. You know what? I'm gonna download that. I'm gonna install it later. I think we don't even need to install it because it's Godot, right? But yeah, I'm gonna download it. Yeah, we'll donate definitely later. Definitely. Guys, go donate for Material Maker. Okay, perfect. Okay, so we learned Voronoi is actually the cells 4 in Substance Designer. That is awesome to learn. We know now that the Perlin noise is basically inside of the FBM. Previously I met slope blur in SD is equivalent to multi-warp in Material Maker. So basically, if I want to do the slope blur in Material Maker, to do that in Material Maker, I have to use multi-warp, right? And for the multi-warp in Substance Designer, the equivalent of that in Material Maker would be the transform node. Is that what you said, Malik? Just trying to get it right here. Okay, yeah, then we learned that the tones range is actually the histogram select. I did not know that before. So that was cool too. And we got that all with the help of Malik, our friend. Thank you so much for helping out. Okay, let's keep it going. Let's keep it running, guys. And so, yes. let's keep this thing up and running. So we have warp, we warped it on itself. Then we made a new Voronoi noise, and we need that into a grayscale. Boom, here we go. So now we have these different grayscales here. I think 12 by 12 is too less. Let's go with something like 18 by 18. New comments say exactly as far as I understand. All right, got it, man. I'll see what I can do. So I will already check your, you already tagged me, right? So I'm gonna just go there quickly and get that comment again. So I think because we need to implement that soon, right? So it has a Voronoi into a tone step, but I don't think I need to do the same thing. Then we have directional noise into a transform. And okay, I'm just trying to understand what's happening here. Okay, all right. So I think I get it. So let's add a transform node. And basically we need to play with the X value and the Y value, right? So if I take, okay, let me just check what happened here in the tutorial. So it got blurred, then it got into a multi. All right, so we're gonna do exactly the same. I think I'll still take the morphology. Really enjoy that node and what it does. Control C, Control V, and hook that thing up in here. Morphology is. Wait. Well, oh, no. What? No. Wait, what? What happened here? Why are we black here? Warp. That is working. All right. Did I do something? Oh, 1. Okay. Oh, why is this? What? We're annoying noise? Okay. Where did it go, dude? The heck? Got black all of a sudden. Okay, 18 by 18. Then we convert this to grayscale. And that is looking correct. Then we will add a blur on this. Blur it. Filter blur. Yes, my friend. That's too blurry. We need that down to like, I don't know, 12. That's too much still. Down to like 4. The numpad. Damn it. The numpad problem. All right, 4. Not 44, but 4. Morphology before, of course. Boom, bam, done. It's too much morphology, right? So let's do 0.01. Maybe. We'll see. It's definitely... Yeah, I mean, what if it's the other way around, though? Yeah, I like that a little bit. Okay, let's see what we're going to do. We have the Gaussian blur. We can put that... That's how I understand it. You put that into the Y, and you put that warp into the X, and now you should get the... Nope, that's not how you do it. Probably wrong. Probably didn't get it correctly. Maybe this into the input then? Okay. We're getting something here. Delete. All right, so we had this. It didn't change much. Okay, let's put it in the X. Am I getting this right, Malik? You have to transform something. I guess that's what you meant by here, putting that warp into the transform. Now, what are the next steps here to make it work like multi-directional? Like we have it in Substance Designer. Translate X and Y param. So both of them. Oh yeah, that's what I saw in the screenshot. And that would do nothing, basically. Oh wait, it is doing something. Let me try. No, barely. The pattern, not the inputs. The pattern, not the inputs. Let me try to think here. I'm really squeezing my 40 IQ here, guys. So like translate X, translate Y. So you want me to transform the patterns, the params, the fields in the transform node. The params, they are 0. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Damn. Okay. Oh my god, yeah. All right. Hell yeah, that looks really cool. Wow. Look at that now. look at that now. Okay. All right. Warped. Multidirectional warp. Transform is param input. Okay. I think I get it now better. It's like playing with the intensity with the warp a little bit. Freaking hell, this is cool. Okay, so this is basically telling it to go all the way down with the y-axis. And the other one is... yeah, I think I get it better now. Okay, let's see the results in the tutorial and check if we're doing anything, too much or too less. Just the intensity of things. So this is the results he's getting with the multidirectional warp, which is really... maybe I shouldn't have done... maybe I shouldn't have done that morphology. Maybe I should just put it in a blur and call it a day, right? So let's put that a little less here. Is there a way to control the intensity here a little bit? I mean, we could control it like this, right? Oh yeah, we're getting there. We're getting there, definitely. It's looking good. All right, so you say, I admit it's a bit counterintuitive, but I went for power instead of ease of use. You know what? I understand that you want to do things differently, and it is what it is. And you just, for me, it's not that Substance Designer is the norm. However, most tutorials in procedural generation, textures-wise, are made in Substance Designer. For me, it's like, all what I want to do in this stream and learning here is to just learn how I can replicate all those tutorials by like using Material Maker. And this is what I'm trying to get here in this stream. And once I have those skills, like now I immediately, when I see Perlin noise in any tutorial, I'll be like, all right, FBM, FBM, that's it. I'm gonna use this one and I'm not even gonna question it. It is what it is, right? What else is there? Like what we learned today with the Vernoy noise, instead of doing cells 4, I'm just gonna do this and then take the output from the fill, right? So this is what I'm gonna do, and that is fine. I'm just learning it, but it's hard sometimes because like when I'm using ChatGPT or whatever, I'm gonna show like one example, right? Where is it? Here, yep. So I made like Gemini doing, creating for me this document where it's like, okay, this is the substance design feature, and this is the Material Maker approach or nodes, and like it's not completely correct. I never used Substance Designer, not even once. I mean, yeah, I get it. Well, what's your background? Like, I just wonder, like, what did you do before? And by the way, you should totally come on the podcast. I would love to have you. Okay, but no pressure. So we have that. We have the transform node. Let's go back to the tutorial. My scatter thoughts are everywhere. This stream is brought to you by ADHD. Let's keep going. My sponsor is ADHD.
Which will make this even more organic feeling and start to separate some of the edges of those grayscale values.
Yeah.
So I'm getting something that's looking a little bit more organic. Now here's another use case of a slope blur grayscale, where instead of inverting this, I want the edges to be a little bit crispier. So if I go here, you can see this difference when I switch. See, I get a little bit of this crispiness.
That's the slope blur
right
from
here.
before.
This works really well for concrete, by the way, this technique.
Okay. I think I played a little bit with the slope blur.
Some bass in there.
So let's try to get that in here. I think we did that before, so maybe we can do it again. So, well, I'm a software developer in microelectronics embedded. Okay, and game dev is just a hobby for me. That's so cool. That's so cool that you don't have to worry about getting your income through game development, because that could be a headache, basically. So I'm even more of a generalist than you are. Yes, you are. You are the generalist, dude. But I guess the generalists come in all type of forms. I'm more into the artistic side, generalist, than the technical side. But yeah, you would be a great fit for the podcast. I could tell you that. All right, so thanks for the follow. Appreciate you. Thanks for the subscribe. Okay, let's try to get that into the next stage. So we have transform, and we need slope blur. And we got from Malik the tip that instead of using slope blur, we should use, I forgot it again. Equivalent to previous I meant slope blur in Substance Designer is equivalent to multi-warp. All right, so let's try multi-warp in here, since it would be the equivalent in that sense. So let's see what is meant by that. We will choose an FBM noise again. And this time, just trying here. Okay, so this time we're gonna go with something like that is barely has any values, right? So I mean, Perlin is pretty good. What does this do? This is pretty good. What happens if I put it on 10 by 10? Oh, yeah, it's adding a lot of details. All right, but what we're gonna do is brightness. Oh, you know what? Add. We're just gonna add an add, and we're gonna add like a little bit more, like 0.2 or something. This should make it brighter, but I don't want it to be white. I still would like it to be gray. So, what is the workflow here? How can I do that? Clamp it. I mean, clamping. It's not even getting away from the. Oh, we're gonna add a brightness now. Is that the way to go? Maybe. Let's see. Brightness down. That is not what I want. Contrast down. Yeah, that's the one I want. Okay, that's the one I want. Cool. All right, so we have our multi-warp here. Let's hook that thing in here. You can play with the iteration or persistence values. Iteration, persistence values. Iteration. Okay, let's do that here. Iterations is super bright. Okay, sorry, not super bright. Super detailed if it is on the maximum. And not as detailed if it's on like a lower value, I guess. That's what I'm understanding here. Persistence mean, okay, like it is getting vaguer, basically. More vague. So you're saying, instead of playing with the scale, right? Like if it was on 2 by 2, I could increase the persistence and yeah, and then we'll get a different texture, basically, that is a bit more detailed. Is that correct? Brightness, contrast, less contrast. Okay, I'm just gonna go back to what we had before, just before that we started playing around, just so I can see. Iterations is the number of layers of the FBM, and persistence is the amount of each iteration changes. Of each iteration changes the result. Amount of each iteration changes. Okay, so I have to imagine like processes that are happening like on top of each other's, right? If that makes sense, I guess. And a question to you, Rotila. How expensive would it be to have the similar to Substance Designer? So here's the thing. I love that the controls are here. I hate that in Substance Designer, I literally have to go here, parameters, play around. Nah, I like that these things are here. But wait a second. What is this? Change seed. Ooh, cool. All right, minimize the nodes. Okay, is there a way to have, maybe in newer versions it is doable, but is there a way to have this thing? What is the preview, right? On top of the, I mean, maybe you will hate this request. Maybe you will hate it, but is there a way to do this? You know? Like this? That I can see what the node is doing? Does that make sense? That'll be super cool, man. Right click on input. Right click on. Oh, but that takes away the controls. No. I don't want that. I want both. I'm so greedy. But it's cool. I like it. At least there's something, so I'm happy with that. All right, so let's keep going. If it's not doable, it's not doable. Let's go here and check now, finally. What are we doing with that? Why is this not... Oh, it is doing something. Let's zoom in a little bit. Let's see what it is doing. Okay. Okay. All right. This is cool. Yeah, but it's not the asked. Oh, it is. It is. It's already doing these things. It's already there. Right click on input or create a reroute node. Then right click it. Reroute. Okay, reroute. Reroute. Okay. Uh-huh. Right click that. Small preview. Now this is cool. Now I wish, right? I wish this was together. That's what I wish. Right? So I wish there was a script even that already does that for me. You know what I mean? Just so I could follow it easier. I'm just gonna show you, maybe you've never used Substance Designer, but I'm sure you saw it before. This is nice, but I hate that the controls are here. So if we get a mix between two, that would be super nice. I think you get the idea. But yeah, the reroute is definitely a good feature to have, because I was wondering, because in Unity you can do preview, right? So you can do preview like this. So it's kind of cool if we get reroute. So, but the only problem is, why is it always taking it away? Reroute, right? Is there okay, I should check the hotkeys maybe. R and click, 1 and click, 2 and click. There's nothing like that, right? In Unreal Engine, you could add values with, like, if you press 2 on the keyboard and click, you'll get a vector 2. If you press 1 and click, you'll get a vector 1. Shift right click on an input or output. Shift right click an input or output. Okay, let's see. Shift right click. Oh, look at that. Where is it going now? Yes, that's cool. Hell yeah. Yeah, that's the stuff. That's the stuff. Small preview. Yeah. So this is showing me what the math input is doing, right? Yeah. Yeah, that makes sense. Okay, I like that. We can work with that. Shift right click, brightness and contrast, and right click here, small preview. Yeah, here we go. Here we go. I should get used to that, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. And like make checkpoints. Like for now, like I'm super lost here, right? I can't read anything. Like if I do, this is better already. That is super easy to do. I can deal with that. I like that I can hover and have the controls. Let's see what else. I should just get used to it, I guess. Warp. All right, that's awesome. That's cool. All right, so shift right click, and then right click, large, boom. Right, cool, awesome. All right, next, I want the shift right click of this and a large one. Yes, now we're talking. Super cool. And now even if I update this, right, it's updating in real time. I love this. I love that. Yeah, that's awesome. I don't recommend you preview everything because those are not textures. They are shaders. Your GPU might not appreciate it if there are too many. Yes. So what I'm trying to go with here right now is the main previews, right? So I just want to know what the heck this is doing, right? So if it is doable for me, what I would do is like, all right, so what is this doing? Like, all right, shift right click. Let's do a large so I can navigate easier while learning from the other tutorial. Because the other tutorial is very visual, and I hate that you can't even, like, when he's zooming out, all what you see is the pictures. So for me, in order to be able to follow the tutorial like a bit smoother, I feel like I could at least just do that because it's really helpful for the tutorial following. But I guess it's not the workflow, how this was built on, or you wanted it to be built on. And I understand that because that could be GPU intensive. So let's think. We have a warp. This is our warps. They are very important, and I would rather this be to just be like the actual. But that's a good idea for an option. Default preview size of newly created reroutes. That's a good idea for an option. Default preview. Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you there. Okay, so we got to keep going now. That will be our alpha for now, right? Oops. 0, please. No, nothing. That will be our alpha. Actually, instead of doing this stupid thing here, we're just going to go with this here. We're not going to do any blur or anything. We're just going to put this here. We're going to reroute from here, basically. That's what we're going to do. Okay, perfect. Yeah, so now I would basically add a preview for each thing here that is like major. So this is like the multi-directional thing that we did. So what I will do is shift right click and right click large, right? So this will be our view. Shift right click, large. So now I can follow the tutorial without even blinking, right? Without even going too much into detail. Save that thing. I'll delete that. It's a noise. It's nothing like crazy or anything. We're going to hook those up again. Also here, this is going to go into intensity, and the multi-warp is basically the alternative to slope blur here. And we're going to shift right click, boom, and get a large view here as well. Perfect. So now we're getting this result that we wanted from before. Delete this, delete that, clean up a little bit. This is the old workflow that I did to replicate the cells 4 in Substance Designer. So I went with a white noise. Then I kid you not, I transformed it like this, and then I blurred it, and then I put a Gaussian blur. This is shameful, but yeah, that's how we started. So we're gonna delete that. Right now we know actually how to do that. Voronoi in the fill output, we get a grayscale out of that, and we actually have the cells for. All right, so Rodzilla says, shift right click on port again will remove the reroute. Okay, so let's do that. Shift right click, shift right. Yep, that is very smart. I thought it wouldn't work, but actually it does. Perfect. All right, good. Now let's continue with the tutorial. We are right there with the slope blur grayscale. Let's keep going.
And that's how I'm getting those nice little crispy edges. Now, does that matter?
Dude, are we getting those crispy edges? Am I 100% sure that we are? We're getting super smaller ones. So let's see what we can do about that, right? So what if I want this to not update? How do I do that, Rodzilla? How do I lock it? Do I pin it? Is there a view to do that? Is there a way to do that? I mean, one way is, of course, to keep it here, make it huge, and just play with it here. So right now, for example, if I want more iteration on this, so I put a 20 here, 20 here, we see how that will update. Actually, it did keep it. So just clicking on this and playing around with this will not change the preview. I see. All right. Probably we don't need that then. Are we getting those results that he's getting? I mean, we can play a little bit with the iterations, 7 and 0.75. All right, now we're getting results that we don't want. And it's probably from the iteration. So lower the iteration. Yeah, okay, that's fine. So control click the port to lock the preview. We have two 2D previews. That's true. That is this 2D preview. What is it doing? What is that doing? What is it actually showing? So you said control click, right? Ooh. How do I go back? Have a great stream. Thanks for having awesome videos and interviews. And I'm all for a studio. Thank you so much for dropping by and for the support. I'll see you around. Thank you so much. Appreciate you. Salam. Okay. How do I get back from? I mean, there's this arrow that goes back. Yep. Now I know. Up arrow button at the same time. I just thought about it. I was like, yeah, it's probably the arrow right there. Because I thought it opened like it would be cool if it opens a tab, but yeah, you know, it is what it is. Perfect. Okay. Let's see. I kind of think we're good with this result, honestly. Let's see. So you said before control what? Control click the port to lock. Okay. The port. Right? This port. You mean this? Oh, wait. What did I do now? No, this thing is completely broken. Let's shift right click and right click large. All right, so I'm just gonna go with the tutorial so people are not bored here. Let's go back here and let's keep going.
You don't necessarily see them. Not tremendously, but a little bit when you start throwing in a normal texture and some of that
Oh, lock
emissive
button
data
in
coming.
preview. Okay, okay. Oh, this one. Oh my god, I'm so dumb. Yes, of course it's this one. It looks like a lock. I should have just pressed it. So let's lock it, go here, or here and play around, and this will update. That's awesome. Yeah, that's all what we need. That's all what we need. Okay, back to it. Let's see what he does after the slope.
way that it breaks up in the texture.
So after the slope blur, he's blending the actual alpha from before, which we will blend in right now. Then he also takes the edge that we made using the tone selector. You say shift click to use. Oh, the second. Okay. Damn. Okay, preview shift click. This will preview the actual. All right, that's awesome, man. So now even if I click here or here, this won't update. Now we're talking. All right, guys, I'll be right back. 5-minute break. Just, bathroom and stuff. I'll be right back. Be right back. And we're back. All right. So, as a tutorials or recap per se of the tutorial with DGA. What do you mean recap? This is a new one. If you mean my actual stream, it's a new one. It's this one. Let me show it to you. If it's not clear, I'm just gonna show you which one. The one that we are watching right now. So let's go .com and let's see if this is gonna work. So we're following this one right now, and since right now it's about textures, they're showing us the textures in what is it called? The textures they made in Substance Designer, and so this is the one we're following right now, and we'll do a lot of cool real-time VFX. What we're creating are the flakes, by the way, the actual flakes that we want to create. So yeah, that will be this stream. And we have like an hour left or something because I need to work afterwards. And yeah, if you want to get this thing for like 20% less the amount, which is around, oh, what are the packages on this thing? Let me see. Yeah, I think this one is the recommended one, like $500. This one is pretty cool too. But like you can get 20% on that using Jack, what is it called? Jack 20, JTG20. Sorry, that's the one. I forgot my own code. JTG20 to get 20% off, guys. All right, back to it. You could use the link in the description. Perfect. All right, now back to it. Let's go to Material Maker. Ooh, where is my Material Maker? Material Maker. All right, here is my Material Maker. Yes. Okay, perfect. We have done the double warp thingy. Next step, as we said, is to take the alpha and add it and blend it with everything. That's our alpha, so it's gonna go here. We're gonna blend, filter blend, and then we are going to... Ooh, that's not the... Oh, wait, nah, it is. It's just telling me that it's not blending with anything. Opacity actually is also the alpha, so boom, in there goes the alpha. Yep, and that's the result we want now. The opacity here is deciding how much of the bottom texture here we're putting in there. So let's go back to the tutorial just to see like approximately what is the last result here that he's getting, which is looking a bit like this here. So it is a lot more detailed. It's on 100%, so we're gonna do exactly the same using the same tricks that Rodzilla actually shared with us early on. So we're gonna use 100% here. Next step is to get way more details on this. So let's see how to do that. We can already see that our cell texture is a little bit too less. So what we'll do is we're gonna up that thing up to 9 maybe. Now we're getting more details here. Now probably the warp is doing a bit too much on this end. Now we will start to like lessen the values here too. So we're getting a 2 like 0.02, I guess, is the one. 0.02 here as well. What does the rotation here actually do? Nothing. It does a lot actually. All right, we're gonna zero that one. Why is the num lock? The num numbers are not working. Sometimes they do, sometimes they don't work at all. What do you say? Not sure about blend node. Does the second input have an alpha channel? How to check if that is the case? Not sure about blend node. Does the second input, you mean the layer 1, have an alpha channel? Does it have an alpha channel? An optional opacity. How do I know in details if I have an alpha channel or not? Float parameter input has a bug fixed in latest RCs. Float parameter. Oh, you mean because of the numlock, right? Yeah. So we have the creator of Material Maker with us here, giving us some tips, which is pretty cool. So now we're getting this result, and it's the bug you have with this beta. Yep. Got it. So let's see. Do I need to put this on 12? 12, maybe? Now we're getting way more. Maybe it's the morphology here at fault. Let's just go with this. And we see that this is a lot, but it's looking very fiery, right? Like very fiery texture, like, right? Oh, and now the warps are actually changing too. Okay, so we need to change that to here, so it's not too crazy or anything. And shift right click, or just right click, shift right click is better for me. And let's do a huge one here. That's our histogram, which is tones range, right? And yeah, we're getting a warp here. This is looking like that. And the end result here is looking like that. Okay, so now we need to like take the intensity probably less, or make it less a little bit. Quality. What are we doing? Let's see. Minimum blur. What was that looking? Oh, the blur is the one that is actually doing the results that we want. That's the intensity now that we're playing with it slowly. I'm not hating the result here. I think it's looking pretty cool, honestly. Yeah. Yeah. See, good. Rodzilla said something. The second input of your blend node is just a grayscale. So opacity 1 will not blend anything. I think that is anyway what we're going for. So we're trying to take the mask basically from above and take what we created here and cut it off, right? That's what we're trying to do. At least that's what I got from the tutorial. Because if you see it here, it's literally the same, but, you know, cut off from the alpha, right? From the, sorry, I say alpha. Oh yeah, sorry, didn't see that mask. Yeah, no worries. It's just far away. But the cool thing about your app or your program is I could shift oh, I can't do twice. Or can I? Can I do 2 of those? No, I probably can't. That's fine. I'm gonna just do 1 here. No, we can't. It would be cool to have 2 previews, but that would be too intense, I guess. Yeah, cool. So yeah, now we blended this with this. Just checking again with the tutorial to see if that is a bit the similar result that we're getting. I like ours even better, honestly. Like, I guess what I will do here is just like add a brightness. People might criticize me here a little bit, but let's see if that's gonna work. A little bit more brightness with a little bit more contrast, but like definitely a little more brightness, more contrast. Just a little bit of that will look good, I think. Yeah, let's try that. Let's try to continue with this and see what happens. And then we see also that the same thing is used as well on the edges of our step tone, right? Which is the histogram. Tones range, sorry. Tones range. Now we will take that tones range and blend it as well. So we'll create, double click here. Sorry, duplicate it. Maybe there is a shortcut for duplication. Control D. Yeah, Control D. Do Control D. And let's take the brightness from this one, which is this texture. This texture, but after the brightness. And I should probably shift right click here. Shift right click here. Right click, large. I should have the preview of that here. And now we will take the background from our stroke, or the, you know, what is it called? Histogram select, or the tone range, as we see. And we will take our, you know, it's probably a smarter thing to do. Oh, wait. I have an idea. What is this thing called? Recoil? I forgot what it's called. Rodzilla told us what it's called. Okay, wait. It was called... On board again, reroute. It's called reroute. Okay, reroute. Boom, it's right there. That's exactly how you get another reroute. And we'll take it here. Oops, we lost it. Control Z. All right, take it and let's right click on it and make it large. All right, so this will be large too, and we'll make a reroute here just to, you know what? No, we're just gonna do this. Oh, sorry. Nope. How was it? Shift click, shift right click. I forgot it again. Okay, how to do it on the actual window. Let's see. Shift right click on port, yes. But that's a good idea. An option. Default preview size of newly created reroutes. Okay, next one. Shift right click on input or output. We did that. Which we'll want, or create reroute node. Think FBM is the same. Blah blah blah. Iteration is the number. So more. Let's see. Reroute, yeah, but how was it when I want? I forgot how to do this. Shift right click. How was it? We did it here, right? This one. I want to do this again, but I forgot how to do it. Where you could actually show like the, just training my knowledge again, but I forgot it. Shift. Right click something. For now, I'm gonna do this. And right click, large. Right click, right? But where? No. Right click, but where, I guess, is the question. Maybe this doesn't offer that? On output port. Ah, yes. Sorry about that. Yes, you do it like this. Okay, cool. But at least now we know. So, nope, you stay here. Okay, Ctrl Z. And, oh, now it's missing. Okay, so that's a bug, but that's fine. Yeah, so we have the mask. But why did I put this here? Yeah, okay, it doesn't matter. We're just going to put it here. And now we have the blend. And the actual blend with okay, it should be the other way around. The other way around, right? Oh no! Oh no! Wait! Opacity. This, yeah, the opacity should also be the mask. Yep. Come on, dude. Let's go. Yeah, now we're talking. So now we're getting that texture also. We're getting the variety inside of the outline here. So, and that will look like this. Large. So this is what we're getting from all of this stuff. We blend it so it's not just plain white, right? Just white like that. We added this texture to it, basically. All right, perfect. Now let's go back to the actual work here that we were doing. Let's keep this going.
So it will, just a little bit. Then I'm just going to multiply these together because I want to go ahead and isolate this as the shape, the correct shape of the embers. Do my histogram select again, and now
after what the actual blend, he adds the tone range again. Then he blends it with a higher level of the slope from before. Okay, and then that goes into a blend to give it more texture for the histogram, which is the tone range. And then it goes into a blur. Okay, we can do this. We're almost there, guys. Okay, perfect. So now this goes into the tone range. T-O-N-E range. Yes. Will look like this, but we will edit it a little bit so we have less white stuff going on. Not a lot of it, right? Like, so we're doing this something. Yeah, this is good. This is perfect. Then we will take this one, add a level to it. Level, filter tone. Probably something that can make it brighter, which is the other way around, Jack. Just brighter generally, which is probably easier to do here. Here, right? Yeah, brighter like this. Then that thing is going to go with that thing in here. We'll blend together. Blendy, blendy, blend. Inside of here. And then we're going to get something weird like this, but we will for sure use the opacity as well. Wait, what are we getting? What are we getting in here? I did it wrong. Background this, levels this on layer 1. And now we're getting those different values as in... it's a bit different, not much different. I guess maybe I shouldn't have done that much. Alright, nothing much. Oh, wait, I should lock this. And now if I change, things will change with it. Correct. Okay. I mean, it was literally brighter, so we're gonna see what we can do here. What are we doing here? Is it not changing anything? Is that what's happening? All right, back to unlocking. Tones. So what's happening here? Okay. Brighter is this generally, right? Trying to understand. Okay, maybe he explains it. What's their blend mode? Exactly. That's exactly the thing. Probably a multiplier. Let's see.
You can see because of wherever these grayscale values fall in here,
He's not
I get some nice edge breakup and even some good...
He said multiply, honestly, with the first blend.
Chunky islands right here. And you can see, now you can see those crispy edges and how that really factors in.
Okay. Let's do the chunky then. The chunky first. I thought we didn't want that, but if we need chunkiness, we can get chunkiness. This is very chunky. This is pretty cool. We're getting those organic shapes as well. The second blend looks like a min or multiply. We will check it. So first, I will look into it here first, and then see if he explains it. It will be the next thing he will explain.
And once we throw in our histogram select. So now we have some really good emissive data coming through. Now, after that.
All right, so this is a opacity 100 multiply. Yep. Just to be sure, I think he said multiply before too. The last one, yeah, it's right now in Material Maker. It is a wait. How do I know which blend is this? Oh yeah, normal. It says. So this needs to be a multiply, and now we see the difference finally, as opposed to normal, which looked like this, and now we have multiply, and 0.5 would mean this. And we should edit this a little bit. Let's see if this is to the darker side. Not much is changing. I mean, there is something changing at least. Let me see. In comparison to this is brighter. How can I make it even brighter? This is darker. We don't want darker. All right, we will see in comparison. Use opacity 1 for multiply. Yeah, I tried. So it would look like this. 0 would look like this. 1 would look like this. But I'm not getting the difference in like the. I mean, let's see for it because I'm missing the thing I'm referencing it to, right? So this is the histogram select. Let's see the next step.
And even some good chunky islands right here.
We're just gonna go a little bit backwards just to understand the first blend, what like mode it is. Here it is. This first blend is selected. It is actually a multiply, as we can see. So we'll do just that as well, because I was suspecting it was different. So we're just gonna do multiply. So now we should get different results, correct? Normal, multiply will look like this on 1. Then we have our histogram here. That is super bright, and then it goes into this, and for some reason it is adds 1 minute left. Yes. Yeah, sorry about that. Sorry about the ads. Okay, let's see. Perfect. Yes. I'm just thinking about the ads. Sorry about that. Okay, blend, multiply 1. Okay, 0.5. This is 0, this is 1. Why is it getting so monotone, I guess is my question here. What are the different dissolve? I mean, we don't want dissolve here. Screen, we'll make it brighter for sure. Overlay. Multiply. I guess I want the other way around. I want more black. Yeah. Like way more darker. That will affect it actually. Good. That's good. Okay. Just testing here. I'm playing around. But why the whole thing is changing? That's so weird. Okay. Back to it. We're going to go to the course and see what we can pull from it.
Do my histogram select again, and now you can see because of wherever these grayscale values fall in here, I get some nice edge breakup and even some good chunky islands right here.
Yeah.
And you can see, now you can see those crispy edges and how that really factors in once we throw in our histogram select.
Totally.
So now we have some really good emissive data coming through. Now...
Yeah, I mean, his result here is just toning it down, and which we got basically doing what we did before, right? So just gotta Control Z a couple of steps here before the levels, of course, just mostly the level. I think that is fine. Yeah, it's toning it down a little bit. I don't want it to tone it too much, So let's keep going. Then it goes to a blur.
After that,
I wish he zooms out.
toning this down a little bit, throwing a levels on my slope blur so that I can see what that's doing there. Just brightening it up a little bit so I have a little bit of tonal variation.
Oh yeah, thank you. No worries. Absolutely. See you later. See you later. I'll share with you the latest results, and you will see it on YouTube. It will definitely be the whole replay. Okay, replay. All right, back to it.
In this next pass, which I'm just multiplying that. And then I'm going to blur that a little bit more so that the edges aren't so harsh. Okay. Now, what did I do up here? I used that slope blur grayscale information with all the organic stuff to break up the edges a little bit more.
Okay, just give me a second. I'm giving someone a link. And give me a second here. Where is the link? Oh man, YouTube is the worst. It's very hard to get a link from YouTube. Give me a sec, guys. Right back there with ya. Let me go here, and then to the live, and then to the actual stream, and then to copy, and then to exit, and then to give the link to that friend here, Sub-Zero. Okay, and now we have the link given if they want to join. Perfect. All right, let's keep going.
So that it's not all just one on the edge. Then I used a histogram scan. So if I
I'm going to go a little bit backward here just to see.
And I used a histogram.
One back. Come on. Let's go. Let's go. Oh, yeah. All right. We're back. Come on, dude.
Okay.
So it goes into a blend, which we did, and then into a grayscale, and then it is going into another blend from the original one. So we have the edges all together, and then it will do an auto levels, and that will go into a somehow of a blend here. Let's see. Let's check it out.
Now, what did I do up here? I used that slope blur grayscale information with all the organic stuff to break up the edges a little bit more so that it's not all just one on the edge.
Hey, Game Hard, how's it going?
Then I used a histogram scan. So if I throw down a histogram scan, you can see nothing happens right away. You start to move your position. And so I can just automatically through that break up the edges, do a little more contrasting, whatever I want to do. So I've got that histogram scan in there to break up the edges further. So now I'm just getting a hint of emissive around certain parts. I want to blur that just a hair. So this blur grayscale, I mean, you can see it is very low. It's at 0.35. And that's to keep it from aliasing around the edges. I find if I give a very, very slight blur, from far away, I still get the crispy image, but it gives me a little bit more of a smooth edge so that it doesn't look all artifacty later on. All right, so then I'm just adding those together, and you can see I get some nice bright edges mixed in with this emissive on the interior. And so now this is my emissive mask. So my goal, alpha, emissive mask, and then in here is some extra detail for color variation. Yeah. So this grayscale, these grayscale values will allow me to create a variation in the color so that it's not all just black or gray or whatever. I can make this embers have a little bit of an ashy tone to it. So just like I usually do, I will create an RGBA merge node. And if you go down to your channel separator, you can see in the red channel, we have our alpha. Green has our best.
Okay, that makes sense. All right, let's try and see if that is doable in Material Maker. Probably is. All right, so we need to bring these edges together with the new edges that we created. So what we will create is a Shift right click in here, right click large, and this will give us a display. Now we will hook those two together, basically. So one thing to do before we do that is another range, which will be here, done here. All right, so let's do a range. What is it called? Range, tones range. Yeah, that's the one anyway. Perfect. Now basically we'll break this up a little bit, as we see. Before it was this, right? And we want it to be even less. So first of all, I don't want any of those like little dots here. So we'll try to avoid that as much as possible. That's pretty good. I mean, I don't think it's completely avoidable here. Let's see, width, we can get more, right? So with less width, we get less. Okay. Less width, less contrast, or more contrast. Less contrast or more contrast. I mean, in order to get rid of them entirely, we're just gonna add a blur, right? Filter blur, Gaussian blur, and we need that just a little bit, not too much, like he said in the course. Let's do a 0. Let's do a 7. Yes, something like this. So we're not getting these problems. All right, Wilson, how's it going? Hi, nice to have you here. Let's try another one maybe. Let's see if this is gonna work. So this will give us these edges. I'm not a huge fan of this, so we're just gonna play around with the value. All right, gonna try a little bit more here maybe. How to get rid of all of this altogether, which I mean those little circles. I don't want to have any circles. Can I do that? Let's see. Oh yeah, this is better. Perfect. How's it going, Wilson W? Nice to have you here. Okay, so we have it blurred, Gaussian blur, perfect. Now we need that Gaussian blur to also be applied here as well. Boom, nice. So we're blurring this with this, and then we're just gonna add them together. Add, let's see if that's gonna work smartly. Boom with boom, we have boom. Perfect, and now we can actually display that. Shift right click on the output, right click on that thing that got out. We have the actual display. Perfect, now it's all together. That is one input that we want. The second input that we want is this one here. I was wondering, is it Substance Designer? Actually, it's the alternative to Substance Designer, Material Maker, still solo dev project. Actually, it's an open source, so there's a lot of people helping out with that. We're trying to follow this tutorial that is done in Substance Designer in Material Maker, which is absolutely open source and for free. Thanks for asking, Wilson W. It's a huge W for you. Okay, so let's go with a reroute. Reroute, here we go, and let's get that MF for somewhere where we need it. Let's make a huge preview. Let's go out and put that thingy in here because we need it for later. So we need to mix this. Oh my god, it disconnected. Okay, and then we need to reroute the output of the that's great. Absolutely. Yes. More free stuff. Less auto-B is good for everybody, I think. And the general topic we're covering today is real-time VFX. And right now we're creating the flakes textures. So we're going to add colors to all of the work that we've done. If you want to see the replay, is actually on YouTube. So if you have missed anything, we basically started from zero. Even the developer came by and was able to give some tips. I'm just going to share the link here. So if you want to check it out later. Okay, so now we have this with the tones range. We don't want to use that, so what we will do is another preview of this. Shift right click, boom. All right, let's get that you know what? Before that, let's do a different one. Reroute, boom. Reroute is basically a review thing. It's not always. It's done for other stuff too. It's just to organize. Gonna do a huge preview. I just want that thing here. And it's looking pretty good. Okay, so we need those three things to merge. One of the main things is I need a color. So let's get a color in here. What do we have? 3D SDF color, noise value color, noise color, fill. Okay, filter fill from colors. What does this mean? Filter blend. Now we don't want that. filter, fill to color, filter, fill. Is there just a color here? Filter color map. Is that the one that we need? Is that the one we need? Probably not. Vertical, that's like a gradient basically. And it is, all right, keep going. Color. Colorize, rainbow, simple, uniform. All right, so that's probably what we want here. Let's try something like this, you know, something like this. Color it like that. And let's do RGB. What do we have here? Variations. Variation, RGBA, filter convert from RGBA, filter convert to RGBA, convert, filter blend, simple uniform, filter combine, and filter decompose. Let's try this one. That is not what we want. All right, so let's see. Let's see. How can I get those RGB uniform color, you say, Patrick? Thank you. But so here's what I want. I want something that works like this, right? So this guy is doing RGBA merge. All right, so maybe it is a merge node. Maybe I'm doing it wrong here. Filter blends. We can add more layers, correct? Is that doable? But that's not really the RGB merge node, right? So merge, simple. Let's do the simple SDF. I don't know. I'm just trying things out here. Merge, simple SDF operators, SD boolean. That's not the one. We're gonna go to Material Maker Discord. You say combine. All right, let's try combine. Cool. That is awesome. Thank you so much, Patrick. Let's see if it's gonna make it work. That's it, man. That's it. That's the thing. Thank you so much. All right. So first we need color. Color is gonna be in the. All right. So no. The alpha, the mask. That's our mask, right? That's gonna be first of all. Okay. Then we need our RGB, and we need that probably done like this. I'm just trying to guess what the next steps are, right? Let's try to blend this with this. Right click on it. Sorry, right click on the output just to see what's happening. That is definitely an interesting happening here. Let's do opacity for the all right, that's interesting. Why is it giving so many results here? It shouldn't, right? Let's do a huge one like this. All right, now let's get rid of this. New comment says, happy to help. Crazy how many names there can be for one operation. I know, right? Like, yeah, we figured it out. Like, Substance Designer had like cell 4 and stuff like that, and we were trying to figure out what cell 4 is in Material Maker, and it was something crazy like where you put the Voronoi, then you go into the fill, and then you turn that into a grayscale, and the whole thing, man. That was crazy. Okay, so what is this thing doing in the tutorial? So he's bringing all those values together with the uniform color as the alpha. Whoa, does that even make sense? All right, let's see. Let's do the same thing. Let's get the alpha here. Boom. What is that giving us? Nothing important. Let's get that in the R, that in the G, and that in the B. Ooh, that's not so. Okay, so let's see which one is which. This is in the B, in the G actually. This is in the B. Now we're getting this extreme color here. So let's see what we can. Is this changing the color as well? What the heck is? Okay. All right. All right. So white means. Okay. That is so interesting, dude. And I'm thinking like, oh, we gotta color it and stuff like that, but you're actually not. You're telling it, I want all the alpha in here. It's interesting. All right, let's see what he does.
Bit of information. Green is the least compressed channel.
Yeah.
So red is still compressed. Green is the least compressed. Blue is probably one of the worst. So I usually put whatever my lower end data is in the blue channel. And my highest in the green.
Okay. He said something very important here. Let's learn that again.
BA merge node. And if you go down to your channel separator, you can see in the red channel we have our alpha. Green has our best bit of information. Green is the least compressed channel. So red is still compressed. Green is the least compressed. Blue is probably one of the worst. So I usually put whatever my lower end data is in the blue channel.
So red is the most compressed data, if I got that right. Blue is the worst. Okay, so that means you need the least value in the sense of, okay, so this has least information on the top, and you want that to be the least one, which is the least compressed one, which is the blue, right? And this would be our green because it's less compressed, and red is the best compression. We'll go with the most information, if I got that correctly. Okay, let's keep going.
Highest in the green, alpha is safe to put in the red. Why am I not putting alpha in alpha?
Yeah.
Because I don't want this to have an alpha channel and cost me extra texture resource size.
All right.
So I'm not going to waste the resources on an alpha channel.
Cool.
If I don't actually need it, I can keep that in the red channel and use that as my alpha, no problem.
Cool. All right. Yeah, let's do that.
So, and we don't have an additional texture we need to pack to get in there, so it's not important. Now, if I did have 4 channels I need to pack, I'd throw that alpha in the alpha channel. That would be the best channel for that. Okay?
All right.
Now I'm going to go ahead and stop this video right here. And in the next video, we're going to round out our texture. And I'm going to finish off with some variations and also show you a trick for creating subgraphs to process your textures so you don't just have to copy and paste a bunch of parameters. So let's hop into the next video and start finishing off this texture.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that is it for this stream, basically. If you're curious about this course, you can get it over on DoubleJump Academy, link below, for 20% less using JTG20 to get your code. All right, everyone, have a great day. Next stream, we will get into the rest of this tutorial, and we're going to go and fight... Hopefully with what's his name? Redzilla? What is it? Redzilla, the developer of Material Maker. We'll go into the next one, part 2, baby. And we'll get those embers textures done properly. Thank you all for watching. Appreciate all of you, every single person who dropped by, every single person who left a comment. Love you all. And I'll be there next Wednesday, same time, 10:30. You can count on that. Have a great day, my friend Patrick. Thank you so much. And if you liked it, leave a like, subscribe, and I see you with the next one. Salam, everybody. Bye-bye.